everybody, you're going to want to listen up to this one because we talked a lot about making money on this channel, from mystery shopping to audiobook narration, making a passive income with books that we make in minutes, and even how to make money on your phone. But there's somebody we need to keep in mind, and that is Uncle Sam, because he wants his money. But how do we figure out these numbers? And should we even be filing taxes on this side hustle money that we're making? Well, I have a special guest that's going to answer these questions so that we don't get into trouble that we can't get out of. So you want to listen up to this conversation. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, it is Nikki. I'm back with a special guest. I have the finance rebel, Kamari Ellis, with me. He is a tax pro. I know a lot of you have had a lot of tax questions when it comes to these side hustles. So we are going to jump right into this and use this expert while we have him. All right, y'all? Tell everybody who you are.
Hey everybody, I'm Kamari Ellis, also known as the finance rebel. I'm a tax accountant. I call myself a recovering financial advisor and a previous portfolio manager, stock portfolio manager. And I've been working in financial services for the last 20 plus years. I'm not going to tell you how old I am. I'm kind of old. But yeah, I've been around for a while.
You actually deal with the finance stuff.
In real life,
one-on-one, that's right. I know a lot of people have had questions about these side hustles because I'm always telling you guys how to earn some extra income, but I always get hit with questions, and I am not a tax pro, so I'm not touching that. So that's why I have Kamari here to help you all out. So the first question that I know a lot of people have, making money through your phone, is that taxable income?
Yes, emphatically yes. All income is taxable technically. Even if it's illegal, it's taxable.
Right. So. I heard a lot of the drug boys get in trouble because that ends up being an extra charge because they'll get money in that they didn't claim.
Yes. A lot of people don't realize Al Capone never went to jail for murder or extortion or racketeering or bootlegging. He went to jail for taxes.
That's crazy. The audiobook narration is a big thing on my channel, and people want to dive into audiobook narration, but they'll go on the platform and they'll say, I don't want to enter my information. Like, do I have to put in my social security number or my EIN? Why is that necessary for them to provide that information to a legit company like ACX?
And ACX is owned by Amazon, right?
Right, yeah.
So we're talking about one of the biggest companies in the world. But the reason why they do it, and actually it's a good practice for all business owners when you're working with contractors, independent contractors, is to get their information up front so you don't have to look for it on the back end. I've seen a lot of my business owner clients will hire people. Let's just say, an example, I have a caterer who's a client. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they'll forget to get what's called a W-9, which is the information that ACX is basically asking you to fill out.
Right.
They want all your vital statistics, your name, address, social security number. Sometimes you can use your EIN number if you have a business, a LLC or a corporation. But they want all that because when the end of the year comes, they want to be able to send out what's called a 1099 NEC, 1099 non-employee compensation form. So they can report that as income to the IRS. It's a write-off for them. They need it as a write-off for their company, and even the other entrepreneurs need it. They need it to prove that they paid these folks, and that, yeah, you really got paid.
Right.
And you got it as income.
So basically, we know we have to pay taxes on this money. Mm-hmm. So do you have a suggestion as to how we hold that money? Like, are we able to put it in a savings account or something to gain some interest off of that? Or like, what can we do? Like, we're trying to get as much money as possible.
So I just did a video the other day talking about emergency savings alternatives. And you can link to it somewhere. But there's one thing you can do is, right, you can buy iSavings bonds or iSeries bonds. Right now they're paying 7%.
Oh.
Your bank is only paying like 0.5%.
Right.
So that's a big difference. But the other thing I also talk about outside of making more money is you want to stay on top of your estimated taxes if you are an independent contractor. So Nikki has been actually telling me to become a voiceover actor.
That's
model,
right. Do audiobook narration or voice acting.
My voice would work well for it. I get it all the time. And so if I were to pursue that and I were to get paid, I would pay estimated tax on that money. So let's say I made $10,000 from doing voiceover work. I would probably look to pay about $3,000 out of that in taxes.
Right.
And the way I would do that is I would pay out monthly. The IRS says quarterly. I tell everybody to do it monthly. There's also another video on my channel about that as well. But I tell people to pay it out monthly so they don't get behind. Because you know what happens.
Right.
We get money. We want to spend it. We forget about all the other bills.
Exactly.
Right. Blowing money fast. BMF.
Do you have a suggestion as to how to keep track of that money? Because I know like it's important to save your receipts if you have expenses. Because I know of like Intuit, different apps will let you like scan your receipts in.
Yep.
Do you have a suggestion that you may be familiar with?
You just named it. I use QuickBooks. You can use, they have different levels, different tiers.
Mm-hmm.
But with my QuickBooks level, I think all QuickBooks levels have it actually. You can actually take the phone out, take a picture of the receipt, and have it go in. But what I would suggest for anybody that was a voice actor or any kind of side hustle, I would have a separate account for it. A lot of people commingle their money together, which is not that great. You're a business owner.
Right.
You should conduct yourself as a business owner. I would have a separate account. Even if it's not a business account, I would still would have a separate account, and I would have all my ACX money, any of your mystery shopper money go in that account. And then any bills or fees or expenses associated with that, let's say you have a subscription for your auditing software or something like that, I would have that bill come out of that account.
Exactly.
Not your personal account that you use to, go shopping, get your
Right.
nails done with your girlfriends, go out with your boo thing. I would keep it in a separate account.
Right.
And then when it's time to do your books, keep track, categorize everything. It's a lot easier.
Right. And that's what I do. I actually
So you ahead of the game.
yeah, I try to be, but
So you don't really need me.
I do need you. But there's something that I use called Wave. It'll like keep track of your expenses and everything. So anything coming in or out of that account, you can categorize it in Wave, and it's a free platform. So I'll link it in the description box. But that's what I use, because then you could categorize everything as office expenses or travel expenses, anything like that, and it's automated. So since it's connected to my bank account, I don't have to go in there every day or every time I have a transaction like that particular day and like worry about, okay, well, what is this doing? Like I can actually figure out, okay, this was for this expense and can easily connect it. Somebody actually recently had a question about when it comes to health insurance as like a freelancer, when it comes to HSAs and just trying to save on healthcare expenses or buying healthcare. I know there's a tax twist to it as well. So is there like any tips that you can give when it comes to like your health insurance or expenses?
When you're a business owner, you can write off your health insurance. That's one thing. The other thing about HSAs, health savings account, that's what HSA stands for. You can only get them or qualify for them when you have what's called a high deductible plan. And so that high deductible plans means you have to pay more money out of your pocket when you go to the doctor and everything else. So they allow you to put money in pre-tax, and then you can take that money and pay for co-pays, prescriptions, anything medical related. So it can be good, and actually you can invest the money too. It all depends on what kind of HSA you have, though. I would say, yeah, it's good. It's something you should look at. Everybody doesn't qualify for it.
Right, like obtaining the insurance. Because somebody had a question about that. Where do we go to find insurance? And I suggested the marketplace, because that's where I found mine.
Obamacare.
Now I know it goes like they have a thing in there where it'll go off of your income, like what you project your income to be for that following year. I have to figure out, okay, how much do I think I'm going to earn in 2022? There's like a tax credit that can be paid toward that insurance, and you can either opt to not have that paid directly to the insurance or like paid directly to you, or how does that work? Do you know?
Well, it's a credit that helps reduce your overall cost of insurance. But here's the thing. If you make too much money, you will get penalized. Right. And I think the threshold, if you make 400 times, something like that, because I had a client go through that. They made way too much. They actually probably shouldn't have been on the marketplace. They could have went somewhere else, but that's where they can get the best deal.
Right.
But I want to say it's like 400 times. There's like a base marketplace credit. And once you exceed that by about 400 times, you get hit with a penalty.
Oh, okay.
So be careful. Like if you get bigger, like if you hit the $1 million or 1 million subs on YouTube, that means you're going to have some money coming up.
That means I need y'all to subscribe. I'll like that penalty at that point. That's fine.
Because you'll get, ad revenue and probably some brand deals and all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I might not even be able to call you anymore, but that's all.
I'm changing my number. It's like,
Right.
no, I'm not. No, I'm always open. But is there anything that you suggest that people keep in mind when it comes to these side hustles or trying to get some extra money in?
Yeah. Keep pursuing side hustles. They're a great way to make money. But remember this, I know everybody's up in arms about this whole 1099K, $600 reporting rule.
Hold up. I know some of you are like, what is he talking about with this whole 1099K thing? So let me break it down for you, and I'm going to give you the Cliff Notes version, okay? So if you use apps such as Venmo, PayPal, Zelle, payment apps like that, they now have to tell the IRS about your side hustle if you make more than $600 a year. So be careful. That is going to be starting this year in 2022, this tax season. And you can find the details on the IRS website or from your tax professional, but pay your taxes, y'all, okay?
You always have to report your income, whether it's 20,200 transactions or over $600. The key is making sure you do good bookkeeping, because just because you're reporting your income doesn't necessarily mean your taxes are going up. So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind.
And when does the tax season start?
January 24th till April 18th. So it's about 84 days, something like that.
Okay.
It's real short. And I would also say, go early. Do not wait. This is not the time to procrastinate because the IRS is totally backed up. If you saw anything, what happened with the IRS last year, call time is crazy. I just had a client call me yesterday and say they had to hold on the IRS line for about 2 hours.
Yikes.
Because they didn't want to pay me to make the call. But that's fine because I have a special way of doing it. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But hold times are crazy right now. So just keep that in mind. Get everything done early. And remember, gather all your documents. Don't try to rush out and go file right away. But make sure you get everything, right? Especially a lot of side hustlers also like to trade, right? A lot of those forms are not going to come out until February. So just keep that in mind. Get it done as early as possible, but again, make sure you have everything that you need to file an accurate tax return.
That sounds like good information to me. So where can they find you?
I'm the Finance Rebel on YouTube, actually on all platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, even Twitter. I'm hop on Twitter like every now and again.
And I'm going to link his information down in the description box. And if you see any content of his, I highly suggest you check out his lives because then he can answer questions on the spot. I love his lives. Sometimes I'll slide through when I'm home, when I'm not working another side hustle, I slide through his lives and I check them out myself because I gain a lot of information from Kamari's expertise. So thank you for coming. And everybody, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to know more side hustles, make sure you check out this video. And don't forget to check out Kamari's information down in the description box. Bye, y'all.
I might be broken down, but I'm smiling. I keep my head up high, though I fail. Sometimes I get a bit emotional, but then I turn around and let